Hey, Patrick, how's it going?
Hey, it's going pretty good.
We're here. Diamond
Again,
Cup week. It's it's a big one, and
yeah. Oh, hello.
sorry. I was playing around obviously before we started, and now I can't find out where we were. There we are. I like that better. We don't want to be too close to the camera.
There we go.
Um, yeah, man, big week up here at Meridian. You guys had a exciting week. It sounds like down at Magic Valley last Saturday night too. Um, we'll talk about all that stuff at the end, and then I'm fresh from the racetrack. Got open practice going on tonight at the Speedway for the Ninja Kitty Fireworks Diamond Cup coming up. Tomorrow, obviously the big one, big practice, open practice, all the classes. We'll be posting a picture. I got a little picture of the pits. We already got the trailers are loaded in, maybe half of them. Had a couple of cars on track as well. So,
Yeah,
car lovers, here we are.
I like that you were sharing the pictures from the track before all the chaos because that's what you need to. That's what it's interesting to me. I mean, that's us though, right? Like,
Yeah, that's what we
you
do.
see that calm before the storm.
Yes,
Because if
I've
you
got a
just go
couple
when
more.
it's going, it's crazy.
Yeah, I got a couple more that'll be up after the show for the. Figured we'd do one a day all the way up till championship Saturday. So we've got the Wednesday pictures coming up. And some of it's the stuff that people just don't really, you don't think about a lot.
Yeah,
What makes that place click on a Saturday night? Because when the average fan gets there, you get your tickets, you find your seat, you buy your Pepsi, you buy your hot dog, you buy your beer, and you just it's like when we go into a restaurant, you just expect it to be there, right? But it doesn't
yeah,
happen by itself.
that's right.
So we've got Kurt Kern. He's going to join us. He's going to fill us in on the. We'll talk to him a little bit about the history of the reunion. He's been a big part of super modified sprint car racing, the whole thing forever. I love having Kurt in town. He'll be in town here for the weekend, but we love getting him on here to talk. And then, yeah, we want to invite you guys to join in too, because you can comment, you can talk to us, right, Patrick?
Yeah, for sure. So it doesn't matter if you're on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Throw a comment on there, and we're using this special program that magically makes it appear on our screen. So it's kind of neat. How that works, don't really know. We don't really care as long as it works. So just go ahead and type in your thoughts, and we'll see them.
Yeah. And if you normally watch us on Instagram, you can't tonight because I just noticed that there's some little update I had to do on Instagram to make my live videos effective yesterday, and I didn't do it. So
Okay, that's all right.
I know like 8 million people go to Instagram, but hopefully they'll come this way, right?
Yeah.
I look fat today, Patrick. Maybe it's
No.
maybe it's the fact that I was falling out of my chair. Sprint cars, super mods, man. This is cool. It gets me excited.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like no duh. Like race cars go fast at the racetrack. Like that's what they're there for. Duh. But if you haven't done this, go to the racetrack this Saturday, and I'm talking about Meridian Speedway for the Diamond Cup. And what you're seeing on screen right now, those are sprint cars. Even if there's just one out there, if it's qualifying practice, whatever, go sit on that front row just one time.
Mm-hmm.
And the noise and the air that it pushes as it goes by will surprise you. If you haven't seen them before, I promise you'll find yourself going, "Oh wow." And you'll be hooked. Yeah, because it's like, duh, they go fast, they're made for that, whatever. But you don't realize until you're like up there, up close and personal. Because I remember a couple years ago, I came up for the Diamond Cup, and it was, I mean, I'd seen sprint cars a lot of times before, and I was up right there by the front row, just taking a little video with my cell phone. And I remember it was Anthony Quintana, the O2 car, come by, and I still was, as it came by the fence, you know what I mean? Like I've seen these things hundreds of times before, but it still gets you. And it's something you have to experience live. So if you can beat a Meridian this weekend, you got to go.
It is definitely a different a different feeling, right? I mean, and then we're going to turn it up a little more as your Speed Tour Supermods are coming in to the Memorial Reunion. That's especially for a lot of us guys who've been around it for a long time. Super modifieds are cool. Cool to see at the track. We'll talk to Kurt a little bit more about them, but yeah, super modifieds are pretty. I mean, you got a chance down in Salt Lake to see those. I'm sure. When was it? Copper Cup.
Copper Cup, yeah, yep.
So
yeah, so they're just these like. I mean, if you like the sprint cars, then you're gonna love super modifieds. Like, why not? Because it's just like next level power, right? And everything in these cars. Like, people asking me why they're so cool. And it's like, okay, they have like huge wings, got a huge motor in it, huge tires, but then they're like, we turn left, right? Cool. So let's take everything and we'll shift it left so the weight is right there, so we can just have go that much faster. It's just crazy cool to see super modifieds, the fastest vehicles that we can get out there on the track. And these guys, it's not just the cars, it's the guys that are driving them. So for when we were down there at Rocky Mountain Raceways, if I saw the last name Wharf on the roster, I knew that I needed to keep an eye on the track record time.
Right.
And we saw him. Yeah, it was. And we saw him break. It was the fastest lap ever set at RMR, any class, anytime. And, Brian Wharf and I was there. And I was glad someone got a picture when I was interviewing, because I'm like, that's history. And RMR is gone now. So it's like, he's got that forever now. He was the fastest man ever at Rocky Mountain Raceways. So, and then there are names that you see there at Meridian, and certain characters.
Yep.
So some of those guys, they are characters too. And so it's fast cars, great personalities, and you throw it all together in these cars that are just like specialty built, next level. It's awesome. You've got to see it.
So get on down there for the fans here in town that are here. Of course, right now, like I said, I just walked into the house. I was at practice from about 5 till 7:30, 7:45. Kind of an open practice night. Anybody can practice. Tomorrow night, practice at 5 o'clock. It's only for the divisions that are part of the Diamond Cup. So super mod, sprint cars, the midgets, I think the mini stocks are in there one night. And, so all those classes are locked and loaded for practice tomorrow. And we had a couple sprint cars out tonight. Guys getting it shaken down. But the cool thing is standing there, Patrick, and you got big old motorhome and hauler comes in with, Oregon plates. And then you get another one with British Columbia plates. And you just get, it's just constant. I mean, I'm a dummy. I had more fun watching them. It's kind of like the hauler parade. I was standing there today just seeing who was coming in and trying to pick out the drivers and that sort of thing. So they're rolling in. I might have to call in sick tomorrow to see the rest of you get there.
Well, and I know there's folks in Meridian that they would say, yeah, we hear the race cars on Saturday night. We hear them, but they might not realize, like, there are people coming from halfway across the country to come race a super fast car. So you've got to come out and see it. It's just, you've got to do it.
Yep. So like Patrick and I said, we're going to talk to Kurt here in a second, and then stick around when we're done with Kurt. We'll talk a little bit about what happened last weekend and let you guys know the ins and outs of Diamond Cup. Magic Valley Speedway has the weekend off. You guys are more than welcome to jump in and say hi or ask a question. You don't even have to keep it clean. We're on the internet. I mean,
it's worse than cable TV.
It's worse than cable. It's the Pit Stop Podcast. Look out. Like Jeremy White. Jeremy White had a picture of a modified on his Facebook page.
What?
I'm sure that was the one I saw. Maybe I'm pretty sure. If you look at Jeremy's Facebook page, I think I saw a modified on there, Jeremy. You're going to have to let us know what that's all about. Or you're going to have to let me know if I was thinking someone else and I just opened my mouth, which there's a lot of times that I do open my mouth when I shouldn't. But I'm looking. If you can't tell, I can't really. Oh, heck, he'll just tell us. My phone's. I can't multitask, Patrick.
I'll try. Oh, Cruella, how I have missed you. He says, nice to have her back in the shop. Now it's time to put her back together tomorrow. I'll get your heartbeat installed. Well.
All right. So
And it's white. Isn't that white? Jeremy White. White
Jeremy
Lightning.
White. Yep.
He should have a
you know,
paint. He should have a paint color called that. Jeremy White.
Jeremy White. Yep.
Like, what color do you want to do the walls, honey? Jeremy White.
White. Yep. You got to paint.
Yeah.
Got to paint the man cave. Jeremy White.
Yeah.
Russell Hill's on.
What's up,
Jaden
Russell?
Roberts is watching.
Hey, Jaden.
Who else we have? Derek Barr. Look, we've got the whole family. We've got Daddy Barr, and we've got Baby Barr. How was that Dr. Pepper, Patrick?
Yo, listen, shout out to the bars, the whole crew. Listen, okay, if you weren't there or here a few weeks ago, Donovan Barr said, hey, Patrick, next time I get a win, we're going to shotgun a Dr. Pepper victory lane. I was like, yeah. No, okay. So come race day, here's what happened. It's like 95 degrees outside.
Nice and warm.
But I was like, wait a minute. Modifieds are running. Probably going to see the number 9 car there. Donovan's racing. He's a fast guy. So I had to wear dark colors because I didn't know what was going to go down for sure. But I didn't want to stain a light colored shirt. So I'm wearing like navy blue and black, like just super dark colors. And even, I mean, we literally hadn't even made it in the gate. And I think it was Joshua Cuff driving by in his truck, rolls down his window like, what the heck are you doing wearing dark clothes like that? It's so hot out here. And I was like, yeah, I just had to play it off. I was like, yeah, it's hot. Didn't want to give away anything, right? Yeah. So anyways, modified race happens. Boom, 9 car up front. I was like, well, I wonder if he was serious. He wins the race. Awesome. I go down for the interview, and I remember he pulls up, stops. I said, good job, Donovan. And he says, you ready for some Dr. Pepper? And I was like, looking in his car, like, do you have some? And he's like, my crew does. And I turn around, and there's crew right there with a bucket of Dr. Peppers. And they were nice and cold, too. And so somebody busted out a pocket knife. 1, 2, 3. Yo, but I couldn't drink the whole thing. I was slow. First timer. You got to cut me some slack on that. Yeah. So I just did the like pour it all over me deal, trying to be like funny with it. My arm was sticky for like the next 6 hours, but it tasted great. It was awesome to celebrate. I don't know. And Diana got a video of it. Adam was up in the booth, like, "What are you doing?" Diana tried to explain to him, like he wore dark clothes because he's shotgunning a Dr. Pepper right now. But yeah, it was a good time.
Living on the edge.
I'd do it again.
There you go, Donovan. They'll be back down there.
I just need to know so I wear the right clothes. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to watch the calendar. So anytime you see modifieds on calendar, I'm gonna be wearing dark clothes.
Yep. All right, Donovan got him to do it. Jim Burgess, I hope Jim's on his way up here if they're not here already. Jim is just a
Jim's one of those characters I was talking about earlier. Yeah, he's one of those guys you love to see.
Kurt Kern will definitely tell us what Jim Burgess is. Sherry Waters, the Race in Bowling, is on. Hi, Sherry and the family. They, I hope, are making their way to downtown Meridian as we speak as well. Couple more.
Yeah, they're going to be heading up.
Yeah, so I'm ready to see. Where is it? These cameras are weird. It's like my arm's longer than the camera. Or something. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Natalie Waters Racing coming up. There it is there. Let's hit these real quick, and then we're going to bring Kurt Kern on. It's the 44 mod of Al Jones. It's not his. It's Al Jones's.
I mean, Al might let you run it if you ask him nice. I bet he's a nice guy.
I think the Pit Stop podcast guys just said it was yours. He was telling that.
Yeah,
they said it was mine.
Yeah.
Zach Rydalch is on.
Zachary Lee.
Donovan is going to bring you Dr. Pepper every time he sees you. And here's one. Jeremy White. Okay.
Reed raced at Cham Night. Okay.
Yep, they keep some dark shirts in the booth.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep some shotgun shirts, we'll call it, or something like that, huh? Some dark color that I can just throw on real quick.
Yeah.
That's actually a good idea.
Kaylin is on watching. Thank you, Kaylin. Okay.
Thanks, Ken.
Are you ready? Hang on.
Ready.
Look pretty for a minute because I think I just. Oh, I got something. I'm going to bring Kurt Kern on, and then I'm going to step away for a minute, and then I have a photo that will be on this show momentarily that I've just received.
Please tell me it's not from Jerry.
From who? Jerry? No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. But
okay.
it is. It's a good one. We'll bring it up.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Spanky is on. I know Spanky's ready for Diamond Cup. Can't wait to hang out with Spank this weekend. Tell you what, like I said, I went out there to diet tonight after work. I mean, even though there was only like 2 or 3 of the sprinters running, we had some minis and Hornets. It was an open practice. It's just a different feel, Patrick, when you know the big show's there.
Yeah, when it's the week of the big show, it's just that vibe, right? So it's just different. It's just good to be there.
So speaking of big show, this guy is going to join us. Now, Kurt is hiding his identity tonight. Kurt, can you hear us?
I'm here.
There he is. Kurt, on with Patrick and I. This is it, man. It's it's Diamond Cup. It's the big one. Take us back a little bit. I mean, I know we do every year, but we always get some new friends and people watching. Super modified reunion. I know a lot of people see that on the calendar, and they're like, well, what is that? Tell us a little bit about your part in it. And I know Mark had a lot to do with it in the following years. And what's Super Modified Reunion? What's it all about?
Well, it started out as what I was looking for was just a chance to get a bunch of the old guard together in one particular place and, have some beers and BS about the old days. I had started the idea, 15 years ago or so, and it was hard to come up with a location because at that time, back in the day, we had so many cars coming from so many different directions, so many states. And Burgess and Rick Feenster and I were standing in the pit area when I think it was probably a Diamond Cup. It's been a number of years ago. We were bullshitting, and I brought it up again. And Jim Burgess said, well, why don't we have it here? Well, about that time, Adam walked by. And we called him over, and we threw the idea at him, and he says, hell yeah, let's do it next year. So that's where it started. I really seriously was just looking for a party. And then all of a sudden, Super Modified showed up. And it just kind of went where we are today from there. Mark and I have known each other for quite a few years back when I was president of NSRA and SMRA. Was still running down and out of the Fresno, Madera area. And we got together and put on some joint shows, and I met Mark and his dad, and then we ran into each other at the Classic, Oswego Classic back in Oswego, New York, and we've just been good friends. And after the first year of the reunion deal, and we had, probably 2 or 3 Super Modified show up, couple of sprint cars, but Adam was happy. It was kind of cool, and Mark wanted to do something in Madera, and it did not come to fruition. So it kind of went by the wayside. Then he got a hold of me again. He says, "Hey," I really would like to throw some money at a Super Modified deal. I said, "Well, why don't you throw it at the reunion just for the heck of it?" So he said, "Okay." So from that day on, I think this is number 7 for Mark sponsoring this deal, which is the JP Memorial part of it, which is after his dad's name, Joseph Pasquale. And it just kind of grew from there. And I really didn't want to get back involved to the point that I was leading the show. And Mark was more than willing to step up. He's got the same passion today that I had 30 some years ago, and he's been good for the deal. And I'm happy that he's on board, and he's now retired, and he can spend his 24/7 doing the race car thing, because that's about what it takes to make this thing happen. So anyway, I think we're actually at number 8, I think, doing this thing, and it just keeps getting bigger. We keep wanting for 20 cars at an event, and it's just, so far it hasn't happened, but I think Mark told me today that he's got like 30 cars on a roster. If everybody could show up at the same time, what a great show it will be. Quite frankly, in my humble opinion, after spending bunches of years on a flag stand, I think 16 to 18 cars on Meridian of these things is plenty. If you can keep the guys from running into each other, it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest shows that they do all year down at Meridian Speedway, and I've seen. That's an interesting thing you brought up. 18-ish cars is right there, like the sweet spot. I've seen 25, 26 plus, and I start to really wonder, like, holy crap, man, is there enough room for everybody on this track? How do you balance that kind of thing?
Well, it's tough. If you get 18, 20 cars in the pits, you really can't send somebody home and not let them run the main event. I mean, so to me, it's a tough call. But, I remember when we first, I came back to be a president of NSRA when they were strictly a sprint car club. And I remember probably Adam was made the choice of putting 24 cars on the track. And I'm like, no. But it worked. I've seen and been involved in some green, white, checkered shows, Patrick, and I'm telling you what, those are the funnest. I think those are the best. I hate yellow flag laps. It drives me crazy. But if you can get even 14 or 16 cars on that particular size track going green, white, checkered, it's fun.
Yeah, green, white, checkered is awesome. And I understand stuff happens, if you get a caution. But if there's a few cautions, then it's, you want to get, and I know from the announcer perspective, you want the crowd amped up for the restarts. But if there's 2 or 3 or more, then it starts, it's almost like, let's get hyped up. But then it's if we get another caution, you know what I mean? And the crowd, you're having them go up and down, up, down. It's just, it kind of takes something away from it a little bit sometimes. So yeah, I hear you with, if you can get, green, white, checkered like that, and just let the, as my friend Ron Duncan would say, he's just let them eat. Just let those cars go out there and do their thing. It's some of the best stuff you can see. Do you have a year, Kurt, that you've experienced with this event, maybe that you were just like, it stood out from the rest as just whether the party was just better or the show just seemed to just work?
I think every year it gets a little bit better, Patrick. The quality of cars, I think, is getting better from front to back. I think that, we've got some drivers, and I say this jokingly, but we've got some drivers that are a little bit long in the tooth. But we've got people like Colton that have come on board, and he does an outstanding job. I don't know that any of them stick out in my mind that were wonderful. There's, probably a couple that stick out in my mind because I hated them. They weren't fun. And I'm going to leave the other one of them alone and not bring it up because my friend, Mr. Burgess, is in the background. So we don't want to bring that up. But anyway.
You just said you're his favorite flagman. So he's.
And that's tongue in cheek, Brent. Trust me.
That's true. So for this year though, Kurt, of course, we talked a little bit about Mark and being a part of the super modified portion. That's got to be cool for, I think a lot of the fans and us have been around a long time because super modifieds, I don't want to say disappeared, but they kind of were off the radar for a while. And do you think this event over the last 8-9 years, whatever, do you think this helped kind of revive that a little bit, or what's your thought on where they went and now we're getting them back?
Honestly, Brent, I truly believe that if it wasn't for this event, we wouldn't be where we are today. This is where it started with this deal, and We so appreciate Adam and all the crew at Meridian Speedway for, allowing us to, bring it in and do this. Adam, in the beginning, Adam, if we had 4 or 6 super modifieds, Adam was happy. He's
Right.
just one of those promoters that you don't find very often. I mean, most everyone that you talk to, as their Mark is trying to expand the schedule and go into different racetracks, the first thing they want to know is how many cars you're going to bring. Adam, I don't know that he didn't care, but it didn't matter to him as much. He was happy to just whoever rolled in the pits, he was happy.
And now, like you said, and now it's expanded a little bit. I know Mark's really put the legwork in to get this to different racetracks too. And I mean, it seems like the cars are following him. The cars are going, right?
They are. I mean, it started out being a Meridian Speedway deal only, and now they've got Stockton, they've got Madera, they've got Wenatchee up in Washington. It's just he's keeping it small and he's letting it grow slowly, which is what you have to do.
Right.
But he's done a good job. He's done a great job, and I think everybody else appreciates Mark a lot.
Yeah, he always brings the family out too. I mean, it seems like it's very, very near and dear to their heart. Jim says he'd love to talk about that one. Maybe that's a Thursday night practice talk, right, Kurt? We'll talk about that
What
one
he's talking about happened in 2006. Seriously, it was 19 years ago, and he just loved to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, Jim, we'll talk to you tomorrow. How's that? we'll kick a recording on just in case, but we'll see how that goes. So you're not down here yet, Kurt, but I mean, it's got to be. I mean, I know you love racing just as much as Patrick and myself and all of these guys that are watching us here tonight, but it's got to be an event that that kind of stands out for you right now as we move into a different era with these younger kids and cars and all of that. One of the bigger events on your calendar, I would assume.
Well, my events that I actually go to or am involved in or with is probably down to 2 a year, and this is number one. So for the first number of years, Brent, this was the only show. This was the only race I ever went to for the whole year. So, and I always look forward to it because I made over the years. I made a lot of great friends in that area. So for me, it's kind of a cool thing to go back and see those people I only get to see once a year.
Right. So what are you expecting? I mean, I know we've got, of course, leading up to these events, everybody's like, oh, we got 29 guys are coming, 18 guys are coming. I know you and Patrick talked about it for a second as far as a good count. With the economy and things like that, do you think that's going to affect some of the racing? I know that even locally, I think we've both at Twin Falls and Meridian, every now and then we're seeing that. What about these touring groups like Speed Tour? Do you think that's going to have an effect, or do these big shows mean a little bit more?
Well, I think right now, I mean, Mark was pretty confident that he was going to have 18 to 20 cars, and unfortunately, as always happens leading up to the event, stuff happens. Parts not available. Just stuff. I think, I think if you see 16 to 18 cars come through the back gate, Brent, I think that's a good number. And I think that's realistically anyway, that's what, the people that have pretty much committed and said they'll be there. But, that changes too overnight. That can change. So,
right.
I think, if we can have 16 come through the back gate and put 16 on the track for the main event on Saturday, that's a darn good weekend.
Yeah, it would be really good. You mentioned the younger guys, some of the younger guys that are coming in. Where do you see this event going in the future? Like, what's the evolution of this event going to be, do you think?
This particular event, Patrick, or the whole series?
Both.
That's a good question. I mean, these things just take a certain person to want to get involved, because you can't go buy the doggone parts off the shelf and put one together.
Right.
And right now there's been nobody up in our neck of the woods that have got a jig and are putting new stuff, on the track. So what you're seeing today really is, cars that have been sitting for 20, 30 years, somebody's garage or shop, and they're bringing them out. In the beginning, I think they were pretty much just bringing them out, blowing the dust off of them and going racing. But, as we've evolved a little bit and got into this thing a little bit more, they realize that old parts break. So you gotta take them apart and go through them and put them back together, knowing that the thing's going to be good till the end of the night. Whether we're going to see an influx of new people, Patrick, I'm not sure. I mean, we've got some people that are coming out that have bought old cars, they've torn them down and they're putting them back together, and they've never been involved in a super modified before. But the interest is there, and I think if that can continue, I think that it can grow. We just you have to go baby steps.
Do you see? What's that?
Go ahead. You're good.
I was going to say, do you see anybody in particular with the series that helping it grow? I know, like you said, it's going to be like a slow thing, but is there any drivers that maybe, as you said, maybe are long in the tooth that maybe kind of help out a little more with the behind the scenes thing as they're getting a little past the racing days or anything like that? Do you see somebody in particular you think is going to be like pivotal to things going forward in the series?
I say this in all honesty, is as much as Jim and I butt heads about stuff, and we do it jokingly, but Jim Burgess does a ton in the background for this deal. He's constantly looking for new cars. He's constantly looking to put different bodies in what he's got. Jim does a lot. We've got some guys that that are really seriously looking to be multiple car owners. Brian Schaefer owns a bunch. Mike Funkhauser has a couple. Burgess has, I don't know how many. I mean, I really haven't kept track, but Jim has done a ton as far as going out and finding cars when people are looking for something. And if he's got anything that they need that he can help them with, motor-wise, parts-wise, or anything else, he's right there. But that's how Jim's been for the whole time he's been involved in these things. That's just Jim Burgess.
It's Jim's one of those guys that you just got to know, right? And once you meet him, anybody that just heard what you just said will totally understand what you mean when you said what you said. Jim's one of those guys that helps make the event, I think. You know what I mean? Like if you take him out of it, it's definitely not the same. And people will go, "Where's that one guy? Where's that one car? Do you remember that one car?" Because he's always doing something cool with his car, with the graphics and things like that. And I've only seen it for a few years, but he's like I said, there's characters. Jim's one of them. You got to have him. Got to have him.
Totally agree with you, Patrick. I mean, he's colorful, if nothing else.
Yeah.
That's the word. I love Jim to death, and we've had some colorful interviews on the front stretch. But I tell you what, it takes those guys, right, Kurt? I mean, going all the way back to when you got started in this deal. Me as a little kid, as a fan, and just growing up at that racetrack the last 45 years and watching all these different super mods and wings and all that come through. Whether it's a local class or a division like this, you got to have the guys that stand out. You got to have the guys that not only put on a show, but drive the hell out of them too. I mean, Jim's a back-to-back winner of this deal.
He is, and he's going to be disappointed every time he comes to Idaho and he doesn't win. He goes home not a happy man.
Now, so we want him smiling. What's Jim? Jim says Snyder will have 2, one at Meridian. He'll have another one later in the year. He's a midget guy that's never been in supers, but he's going to hit the shows. So see, there you go. There's some some new blood, courtesy of these guys like Jim that are trying to keep this thing alive.
Yeah, and he does a good job, Brent. He really does. Him and he loves. Obviously, if he has an audience, he's best when he has an audience. If you get him and I together off just one-on-one, he doesn't say nothing to me, but you give him an audience, and I'm telling you what, he'll play to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole group is like that. You got your characters, your hardcore, and your competitors, and sometimes you get all that in one guy. So, well, Mark, and like you talked earlier, Mark is in a bocce ball championship. Bocce ball. Bocce ball. Enlighten me. I don't know what that is. Is it like that?
It's a game where the teams actually have a small ball and a big ball, and somebody tosses out the small ball, and it's up to the group to get the big ball as close to the small ball as you possibly can.
Oh, there you go.
That's Mark, what I remember of it anyway. We played it up where I am a number of years ago in a big field, and I never heard of the game before in my life. Like, what the heck is bocce ball? But you know what? You get together and have a few drinks. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, Kurt and Mark and myself were in a text, and Mark's like, "You guys are gonna be so mad, but our team went to the championship. There was no way we ever thought we would make it that far." And I'm like, well, "That's good. He's winning. He's going to be winning on Wednesday night, and then he's going to roll in here for the big show tomorrow." So, kind of in closing, Kurt, I mean, for you and Mark, I mean, I know, and then we've got the whole crowd at the racetrack and the fans. Just kind of, I don't know, in a nutshell, here we are again, if you can believe it, 2025, and we're still super modified in sprint car racing in downtown Meridian. What are you expecting on the weekend as a whole, and some of the stuff that Mark might have told you as we get ready to fire this thing off?
Well, what Mark told me an hour ago, I already forgot what he said, but
we'll talk to him tomorrow.
With age, for God's sakes, when I started NSRA in 1987, I was 35 years old. Next month I'll be 73. It's so. What I really appreciate about Mark is that I just love the passion. I love watching him and his passion for this thing. This is a guy that was never, ever involved the way he is today in racing. He was a fan. He was a fan that sat in the stands. His dad started taking him to the races at San Jose Speedway, for gosh sakes. And Mark was always just a fan. And now he's had a chance to jump in this thing head first. And he's done just a great job with it. And I hope that all the guys, the drivers, and the teams appreciate Mark as much as I do.
Yeah, I mean, and even Patrick's here with us. A lot of us. I mean, I grew up at that racetrack and tried racing and did all the things to try to make it work before I found my niche. But I mean, similar to Patrick, and Patrick's a fan. Patrick was not around it like us, and it's when you jump in with both feet, you jump in with both feet, don't you, Patrick?
Yeah, it's just I try to just tell everybody you have to go to an event, go to a racetrack, because there's the type of thing that, like you said, you jump both feet in. Once you're in, the people there, the fans, the staff, everybody, there's just something different about it. And it's just better. It's everybody, like, people are they're more loyal. They're more they're just solid. Like, the fans will show up. They don't, it doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees outside, if it's 70 degrees and it might rain, people are going to show up. They want to see cool race cars. If things get rained out, party in the pits, it's stuff like that. The experience, people tailgate at other sports before the stuff and whatever. Who does it after? Well, racing does it after, because we can still party no matter what. And then they'll go all night. Place like Meridian, it's like, I swear, the whole town of Meridian is there, a party in the pits, especially at an event like Diamond Cup. When I went with my wife and for the first time, and I was just like, I promise you, everyone in this town is here right now. Like, it was just like a big family reunion. And that's what it feels like. We talk about it all the time. It's a family thing. You just become part of the family, and that's what you do. It's like, what are you going to do on the weekend? We're going to the racetrack. That's what we do.
Yeah.
You know, Patrick, I've been to a lot of different racetracks around the country, you know, in the years that I've been involved. And I don't know that I've ever seen a racetrack that has as many fans at the end of the night come into the pit area and will stay there till the freaking sun comes up. That's just the fans in Meridian are just, they love their track. They just love it.
And that's something we're trying to build down in Twin, and people will go to party in the pits, and it's a good time. But I'm like, yo, if you want to see next level, go to Meridian, go to Diamond Cup, Pink Lady Class, whatever. Pick one of those cool events. I mean, it could basically be whatever, because I've been there a handful of times the past couple of years, and every time it's like people love the races, but then it's almost like a whole, like you just like unbottle another level of excitement, because I saw people mixing drinks in the pits, like some crew, they brought out like a bar, like they're selling drinks or something after the show. It was like, I mean, I guess you got to pay for tires and stuff, but like it was next level.
Yeah, it's a night. I mean, if you don't see a sunrise on one of the weekends or one of the nights of Diamond Cup, you didn't do it right. I mean, there've been a couple. So just as we were talking, Jim Burgess would like to let us know that both the game is for old people, he says. Sure, Mark's not going to take good to that. And then he had to say no, like way old people. And then he had to clarify, you got to be Kenny Hamilton old. So there's Jim Burgess in it.
Well, I'm not quite there.
No, Kurt's got a long. Yeah, Hamilton's got decades on you, right? Or a decade, maybe.
Yeah.
And Troy Palmer just wants to remind us that game might take a big ball on a little ball, but driving a sprint car takes two big ones, which is true. And this is coming from a mini stock driver that said he'd like to drive one if anybody's got a one-line run. Remember, Troy, it was just a few weeks ago you drove a car backwards to win a toilet race, right, Patrick?
Yeah, Outhouse Grand Prix winner. Yes.
Yeah, Outhouse Grand Prix. Doubt that there's going to be a super modified guy that says, hey, Outhouse Grand Prix backwards guy, come drive my modified, right? Well, there you go, Kurt. I mean, I know you got to get ready, get down here for the weekend. I appreciate you taking some time with us and just kind of giving us a little behind the scenes from your guys' point of view.
Well, I appreciate you guys having us on. That's always look forward to this weekend. I just do, so thank you guys for, having us on and talking about this thing. It's going to be a great weekend.
Okay. Well, I will see you. I'll see you down there tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. And who knows, we all might catch a sunset together before it's over.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, Kurt. We'll talk to you this weekend.
Brian. You bet. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So there it is. I mean, the guy has been part of NSRA, sprint car racing, the whole deal since he said 80s, but he's been there, like a lot of us even before that. So
he's one of those guys that the normal folks that go to the racetrack just on Saturdays, you might not have heard the name, you maybe don't know Kurt Kern. You might not have heard him, but you have to show respect to the people like Kurt Kern. Trust me, because like we have the best job in the world, and we would, things wouldn't be where they are now if it weren't for people like him.
No, it's all the guys that came before us. And for me, I mean, when I get to talk to Kurt, or when we get to interview Kenny Hamilton in Victory Lane, or I'm wandering through the pits and you see the Veenstras and the Elliots, these guys that I watched forever, it's an honor. It's pretty cool. And Spanky sums it up that, he is Kurt is definitely one of the best, and I look forward being. Okay, I'm not young anymore. I used to think I was a younger guy, but I will say that I'm younger than Kurt and Spanky. No, I'm just kidding, Spanky. Well, I am, but But I mean, just getting to go down there on a Thursday night. I love the race night. Don't get me wrong. That's the epitome of what we do on this weekend. But even just to wander around on a Thursday night and just see the guys, the faces, the families, the people that my dad and I used to go watch when they were behind the wheel. Now they're behind the scenes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, these type of events, it reminds me, because you don't get to see the super modifieds 4, 5, 6 times a year, right? So it's a special deal when you have some of these events, and it reminds me of just, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago at Rocky Mountain Raceways, when we would have the guys that would come from out of town, Randy Kerr, Steve Castile, you know what I mean? And these guys come down, and I knew, because I could see the excitement on Dan's face, and how it was going to be a different week. And so we knew that when we saw Randy and we saw Spanky and little Riley, young Riley coming down and stuff, I knew it was going to be a fun event. So I was excited when they were coming to town. So, you have those events that you just know are going to be really cool, really special for whatever reason. Might be the cars, the people that come down to the track, both. And so you just got to enjoy the good times while you're in them. You know what I mean? Because who knows how many years down the road, and we're going to say, man, don't you remember when those guys used to come to town? You know what I mean? And we're in those days right now, right? We're so lucky that, I wouldn't have guessed that now I'd be seeing Randy and Spanky at the racetrack every weekend. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so lucky right now that that's my normal. And this is something that we get to be a part of, because people like Kurt and these guys that have been doing what they love to do and just having fun for a long, long time. Because he said, what was he looking for at first? He was just looking for a party. And now look what it's turned into.
It's a hell of a party with race cars.
It's one of the biggest parties of the year, every year. So it's just awesome.
Yeah. And we'll try. Here's my problem is I get involved in the party part. So I've always this year and years back when I had the Racetracks podcast, I'm like, I'm going to take pictures. We're going to see everything. And then next thing I know, the sun's coming up Sunday morning and I'm like, holy crap, where did the weekend go? But we'll definitely try to keep up, because, I'm getting older and the nuts are getting farther away.
Sometimes I'm like, we got to pay somebody to just follow you around and take pictures, because you're so in the moment, right? The whole weekend, just loving it.
Right. So, so big thanks to Kurt, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We've got a few more minutes. I want to throw something out to the listeners or to the watchers or whatever you're doing with us. If you're listening, if you're not watching, I wouldn't watch. I would just listen, because we're not the hottest men in the town. But
we're working on Iron Body Fitness.
Yeah, Iron Body Fitness. We're going there later. Big thing Patrick and I want to do with this show is get it blown up. I mean, let's get it out there, to the people. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got stuff going. We had one of our dear friends stood up last week and was like, hey, there's this way that you can remind your listeners and your viewers that the show's coming on. It's like an automated call or automated text thing. And all you get a text at 7:45 that says, hey, Brent and Patrick, we're coming on the air at 8:15 or 8:30, whatever. Shoot us some messages or even comments in here in the last 10 minutes or so that we're on the air. Let us know if that's cool. I mean, last thing we want to be is annoying, but we could be. I mean, I'm not going to not be. People have called me annoying before. But it's a pretty cool service, and I think we're going to try it. We're going to throw some phone numbers in our phones, and also tell us, would you rather see a text? Would you rather get a little, like a reminder text, like our Meridian Speedway Magic Valley rainout text that say, oh, the races are canceled tonight or whatever? Or would you rather pick up your phone and hear one of our voices saying, hello, this is Patrick. We're going to be live with Kurt Kern this Wednesday night. Do it, Patrick. Let's hear it. Let's hear the
hello, baby. You're going to want to tune in this week.
Like that?
All the ladies just signed up and we haven't even put it out there yet.
No, but that's an option, right? Like you said, it could be very cool. So we could send out a text, like you said, reminder. Remind everybody to tune in.
I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna try it.
Cool.
We've got some help to do it. You know, and then, like I said, just shoot us a message on, or shoot us a comment on here. See, John Waters said, "I'll help an old guy like him." You know what? I even need the text because there's days that I'm just like tonight. I was sitting at the racetrack. I had my dinner. I had a small beer and a popcorn.
Nice.
I'm sitting there with Mr. Benson, and I'm like, "Oh, it's 7:30. I need to get home." This almost happened from the announce booth. If that would have been a large beer, but it was a small one. So I was good. So yeah, let us know if you get some weird thing next week, and you're like, "What the heck?" We don't want to be annoying, but we definitely would love to get the word out that we've got this thing, and then you guys can send us some numbers and say, "Hey, my buddy in California would love to watch. Why don't you put it on there?" And we'll just, I don't know. So we'll try that, Patrick. What do you think?
Yeah. Because we can text anybody. So if you want to be included on the list, let us know. Because what we do definitely depends on how many people want to be involved. Will help us to understand what how much we got to pay for and stuff. So,
Yeah.
But we just want it to be like John Waters said, an old guy like him. I'd say a super busy guy like him, because that guy is always working on something, right? So I know a little reminder text sometimes can help you out. So just, oh yeah, they're going to be on in a minute. So we want to try it out. That voice would make me unsubscribe. Troy, come on. This from one Outhouse Grand Prix winner to another. We got to support each other. We can send him the text.
Yeah. So John's in. And like, yeah, that's what Troy said. He said text would be cool. Yeah. Russell Hills wants to be a part of it. And what it does too is, and Spanky's the one that's going to help us out here. And it's going to be like, let's build a database. Let's do it, because then when it's Pink Lady Classic time, or me, I'm going to Vegas for the Open Wheel Showdown. Let's get a bunch of people watching, and we can talk to DJ and some of the guys down there. So yeah. So if you're my friends, Patrick's friends, we have your phone numbers. Guess what? You're in. And if you don't want to be in, just send us a little note that's like, "I already know when your show is. Don't need reminded," and we'll pull you out. No big deal. You know how many people have told me not to call them over my 50 years? Lots. You're not the first. So yeah. So anyway, we're going to try to throw that out. If we already have your numbers, or we have you on here, or emails, shoot us some messages. I'd love to get you guys on it. Appreciate the help that we're going to get from it as well. And I don't know.
Yes.
It's just another way to try to build and it's not for Patrick and I. It's for the racers. It's for the racetrack, all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, all the folks. I mean, everybody's busy, man. Like you said, there's a lot going on right now. So if we can just help you catch the show, we want you to be part of the show, because when we have people interacting, and look at that. As John's big sister, she's in. Kayla's in. Sherry's in. But just, everything's going on. We just, we can help you to join the show live. It's our favorite when you guys join live, because you guys can send these messages. We can interact, and we feel like it's more of a conversation that we want to have with you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything? Because I have one thing I want to close in. I'm going to be on my soapbox. You got anything you want to close up with?
No. No.
Okay. Because it was been kind of an annoying week for me. Okay. So, like Patrick and I always say, the opinions voiced on our there's like some legal limit. This has nothing to do with the racetracks or anybody that matters. It just has to do with Patrick and I. We are a huge part of social media, because that's the only way we can get our word out, right? Yeah. The hard part is, though, man, there are a lot of people out there that just like to bash the tracks and the things that they do and that sort of thing. I just ask you, please don't do that. I mean, it's been, you get the people, whether it's a call or, an official's call on the track, or, our streaming, or the broadcast, or the too much oil on the track, or the grass isn't green enough, or there's not a lot of short tracks around, Patrick. You live in an area where there's one that's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just really wish people would, I don't know. People don't listen to us. Some of them complain about us, but it's like, don't put it out there, because it just takes one day or one situation to shut these places down, and then you're not going to have anything to yell about anyway, right?
Yeah. All I can say to that is you can trust us when we say everybody that is working at the racetrack is putting in a serious effort to try and give the best experience possible for everybody, fans, racers, whoever alike. Everybody's trying because we want everybody to have a good time. So and that doesn't matter, even if people watching at home, right? Or if you're there at the track, you can trust that everybody's trying real hard. And sometimes we'll get it dead on sometimes, and it'll be a hell of a time. And sometimes, everybody has bad days. That just happens. All we ask, just be a little bit of understanding.
Yep. Because there's going to be days, like Patrick said, there's going to be amazing days. And there's going to be days where it's just one big old shit show and we don't even know who to blame. We just have to get through it. And that's just the way it goes. So it's like we all have opinions, and I think it's awesome. Just be careful what opinions you voice out there, because you never know who's listening. You never know that, unless you know what goes on behind the scenes at some of these places to make Magic Valley or Meridian or Wenatchee or Tri-Cities, Black Canyon Raceway, all these things to make these places run. It takes an army of officials, volunteers, paid people, and kids making you hot dogs and ladies pouring you beer. Yeah. And this is just not this is the best part. That's kind of what I was trying to say, and I obviously don't know how to say things shortly. But yeah, if you're pissed, come talk to us. If you're upset about the stream, come talk to me. Come talk to Tyler, whoever you feel comfortable with. You're mad about a call, go talk to Spanky. Go talk to Dirt. You might not get your way. You might not get the answer you want.
They'll listen to you, though, for sure.
They will all listen. I'll listen. As far as our streaming and the stuff that Patrick and I do, heck yeah, give us some constructive criticism. Yeah. We'll take it to heart. Sometimes we can't do anything about it. I mean, sometimes stuff happens.
Yeah. And
the best thing we can do is try to do it better the next week. So
we will, I promise. Yeah.
Yeah. So support these places, support these racetracks that we love. Because like Sherry said, you guys don't have one anymore. So now you guys got to drive 3 or 4 hours to get to one. Let's not do that to Meridian and Twin Falls. Let's keep these places going for our kids and grandkids. And, when I'm in my 70s, I want to be on here talking like Kurt was about all the fun that we had and all the things we did. So social media is amazing. We wouldn't do what we wouldn't do what we, I don't know. That's too many words. Couldn't do what we're doing without it.
Yeah. Use it to build, not to burn.
Yeah. So, and look at that, Donovan Barr. He's got some pictures coming for you and me. So anyway, just do it, and I know we get pissed at the drivers and the crews, and me too. I had one the other day. It's like I made a call like Patrick and I do on the TV, and you know what? I was 199.999% wrong. But I didn't think I was. But when I looked at some different views, I did, and that's what I told. It's Rosalie Weller. She's a long time racer. I swore to God that she ran into somebody, and then when I saw that everybody ran into her, my fault. Can't take it back in a second and a half, but you can definitely own up to it in the end and apologize for it and move on to the next week. And they talked to me privately about it. We figured it out, and on we go. Nobody put on social media that Brent Hardy is a stupid idiot. Not in that case, but it's
not those guys. Yeah, different. Yeah.
Yeah, not different people think that. But anyway, just support the racetracks. I guess it was one of those things that kind of rubbed me wrong this week a little bit with some other things going on. And thank you, Troy, Jeremy White. Yep. I mean, we wouldn't have a place to go, and you wouldn't have a place, Patrick, if people complain and I get our track shut down. Patrick could not be shotgunning Dr. Peppers with Donovan Barr and Victory Lane. There's the photo. There's the proof right there. I mean,
and see, look,
that was your virgin shotgunning, right? That was your first one.
First time I've ever shotgunned anything, and that guy's still got the pocket knife in his hand. You can see.
Oh shoot, he does. Good thing you did it. Derek could have got you on that one. But yeah, this is what it's about. It's about this. It's about Natalie and her family coming up. It's about Kurt Kern being able to see his friends from 50 years at Meridian Speedway this weekend when we all get together Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for Diamond Cup. Tomorrow night is Stinker Stores Family Pass Friday. You can get in 2 adults and up to 4 kids. Go to your local Stinker station, and they'll hook you up. Or shoot me a message. Maybe we'll hook you up. Maybe the Pit Stop Podcast can hook you up with some Friday night fun. Give us a message if you want to go. I can meet you at the track on Thursday. We've got a few available, and then it's the whole weekend. It started tonight when they rolled in, but it's the JP Super Modified Memorial and Reunion 2025. It's almost my favorite time of year, Patrick. I love this one, and then we get into our normal stuff, and then, bam! All of a sudden, it's Pink Lady Classic. But we're ready to go. And look at this. You have a request. Oh, hang on. I got to add it. You have been requested from Spanky that he would like that pick autographed by you and Donovan. So
Okay.
let's get that thing printed out. So that could be like the cover of the program or something next year, right?
Yeah, we just got to we'll have to do it again when we can see my face next time in it.
They got the microphone in front of you. Derek would like to know, like you realize that his son did not spill a drop on that beautiful brand new suit. But
yeah, well, he's probably
Donovan's
done it. He's shotgun before, you know.
Donovan is a pro. But so yeah. And there you go, Jeremy. Memories are made at the racetrack, and there's gonna be a lot of memories made this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's Diamond Cup week. Keep an eye on our Pit Stop Podcast page. Been doing some photos, of some of the stuff that happens at the racetrack that maybe we don't know. I took a couple today. We'll be out there the next couple of days. I just want everybody to realize all the good stuff that happens at a speedway, right?
I love it. I love the pictures before, and I love sometimes you've posted in previous years, pictures after the events when everything's gone dark and quiet after a huge event. I love that it's a perspective that you don't get to see unless you're there, like you are sometimes super late at night. So I appreciate what you're sharing. It's very cool.
Sweet. All right. It's I got to go to work at 6. I got to go to the Iron Body Fitness at 9:10. Now it's 10. And we couldn't have an opportunity to do any of it without the great sponsors, Race 10 Bowling. Keep up with them. We'll touch base with them this weekend. Overturf Photography. I'm hoping that Jerry and Mary are going to be in town. It's a big sprint car show.
Yeah.
Get all the cool Overturf stuff that they've gotten us hooked up with here. Shot glasses. What do you got? Patrick's got the cartoon drawing of Miss Natalie Waters.
Yeah, this is Natalie Waters. So you can get one like this or of a different race car. They'll have other ones available when you see them. So Overturf can do whoever your favorite race driver is.
So, So then Performance Signs and Graphics. Mike, thank you. Sent Savvy. Shelby's down there in your neck of the woods helping us out. And then, of course, Iron Body Fitness and a few of the others down there. I'm in trouble.
Oh.
That always freaks me out if Joe's watching me on the camera. I mean, Joe's a competitive bodybuilder, and I don't want him to be embarrassed when he sees this.
Yeah, he's got the text alert, so you can see like beep. He's like, "Tell Brent get his ass in the gym."
We'll get him hooked up on that too. Flow, yes. I want to remind everybody, Flow Racing, Flow Sports is running the Diamond Cup and the Pink Lady Classic. No Speedcast tonight or this weekend, but it is live on your Flow Sports streaming service. So that's it. Oh, Jerry just says we're driving in tomorrow. Personal text, not on here, but it was on my phone. Jerry's going to be up here. So Overturf Photography, can't wait to chat. I want to buy stuff, but I also just want to hang out with my friends and talk a little bit of racing. Idaho Historical Racing Society will also have on sale IHRS shirts featuring Al Russell. So
sweet.
Is that it? I think we're there. I think we got it. We got Kurt Kern in and the whole crew. So Diamond Cup practice is tomorrow night. We'll get that rolling 5 o'clock till dark. And then you better be there early Friday. And if you're watching Patrick on Flow, hopefully we'll have some qualifying and stuff. So there'll be some early starts on the Flow broadcast as well, so we can see some sprint car qualifying. And who knows? It's up to Mike McGurdio. He's your defending Diamond Cup champ. Can he go 2 for 2? It would be his 3rd overall. And my good buddy Matt Elliott picked up the JP Memorial. They brought the trophy back tonight while I was at the racetrack, getting ready for the next name to be etched on that thing forever. So I'm ready. I can't hold it in anymore. I got to go to the gym, and then I got to go to work. I got to go drink a whole bunch of Pepsi Cola to keep me caffeinated and get this show on the road. So
Get that squatch juice going.
yeah, I got to get my squatch juice. I actually had it in here. Look at this. This is where I make my squatch juice every morning. See, Joe? I got it. Lots of things happen in the Pit Stop Podcast broadcast room. Squatch juice, Pepsi, and that's all I can tell you on the air. So, for Mark Pasquale, Mark, I hope you won the championship tonight. Kurt Kern, I know he's getting his bags packed. He's going to be down here with us tomorrow, making his trek out of the Northwest. And Patrick and I will be back next week. You guys get a text or a voicemail. Let us know if it's annoying or cool. I hope it's cool because you're going to get it anyway, right?
Yeah.
John Waters, yes, thanks us. We thank them for helping us out. And
Yes.
Joe
Thank
Daly,
you guys.
some of the guys, all of you, everybody that watches and everybody that doesn't, spread the word. Tell them to come watch us. Sometimes we know what we're talking about. Sometimes we're just annoying for an hour. And right now it's time to get ready for Diamond Cup 2025. Make your plans. You going to watch us on TV, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm going to get off work at 4, so I'm going to hurry home and pull it on up on the computer, start watching.
All right. Okay. So for all of us here at Pit Stop Podcast, and all of our family and friends at Meridian Speedway, Magic Valley Speedway, we'll see you at Diamond Cup Friday night. Talk to you later, bud.
See it.